everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing this lovely vintage reproduction Overbust. This is the C140 Overbust corset made by Axfords Corsets. And Axfords is one of the oldest corset companies in the UK. They've been in business for more than 100 years. So without further ado, let's get on with the review. So here's the front, the side, the back, and the other side. For the length and fit of this corset, today I'm wearing a size 22 or 56 centimeters, so it would be 22 inches in the waist when laced completely closed here. Around the fullest part of the bust, it is 31 inches or 79 centimeters, and at the low hip, basically around the top of these scallops here, measured around this area, it is 35 inches or about 89 centimeters. So it has a 9-inch full bust spring and a 13-inch low hip spring. And this would be the reason why I'm wearing it with a bit of a V-shaped lacing gap in the back, because my full bust is about 4 inches more than what this corset can accommodate. So in order to avoid spillover and to allow me to breathe comfortably, I have to lace it a little bit looser at the top. But my hips are naturally a bit more narrow, so I'm lacing it a little bit tighter at the bottom here so it fits snug against my hips. For the length of this corset, this is Axfords' longest overbust corset, and I have a relatively long torso, so this is the reason why I requested that Axfords send me their longest overbust that they have. So in the center front here, it's 14.5 inches. Along the princess seam, it's the same because the top edge is just cut relatively straight across all the way around. So this is also 14.5 inches. And in the center back here, it's a little bit longer at 15 inches. Like I said, this corset is cut relatively straight across at the top edge, and it doesn't have a specific demarcation where the rib cage ends and the bust begins. It is deliberately designed to go up in a fairly straight line. So if you are small busted and you have a small difference between the measurement of your rib cage and the measurement of your full bust, then you won't run into an issue where you have the corset too tight against your rib cage, but then it's gapping at the bust line. It should pretty much go up in a straight line. And if you are a little bit fuller busted, and I consider myself pretty moderately to full busted, you will find that this gives a bit of a push-up effect, and you might get that kind of half moon thing going on. So it's not going to give you a silhouette or a shape under clothing that is anything like the normal bras that you would find these days with the molded cups, and the bust makes like a teardrop shape. This kind of makes the opposite shape, where it's actually flatter at the bottom of the bust and fuller along the top. And I apologize if the camera is cutting off the bottom edge, but the bottom edge is actually scalloped all along the bottom edge of this corset. And along the scallops there are attached suspenders or garter straps. And these do not come off of the corset, they are permanently sewn onto the corset. So let's go to the tabletop portion of this review, and I can show you the other details of this corset close up. So here's the Axfords corset laid flat, and for the materials, it's 2 main layers. The fashion fabric here is a peach satin, and this is woven especially for Axfords. It's dyed to their specifications, so if you don't want the peach, I believe they have white and black and purple, etc. And the satin is also stiffened and reinforced to their specification. And then on the inside here, the lining is 100% cotton. It's a lightweight but dense weave canvas. So this is what the label looks like. You can see the size here, and you can see that the satin itself is a rayon viscose and a cotton blend, and the lining itself is 100% cotton, and it also says made in England. And like with their other corsets I had reviewed in the past, this one came in its own lovely little dust bag here, and it just it opens up like this, and it has a little loop on the side in case you wanted to hang it off of a hook or a hanger. So it's very nice of them to include a little individual bag for all of their corsets. Turning the corset to the side, the pattern is technically an 8-panel pattern. So it has 6 full-length panels here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the other 2 panels per side are these lovely large hip cores here. So there's one on the side and another one around the back. And that's what gives the hip its roundness, whereas the rest of the corset is pretty conical and straight through the ribs. And for the construction, it seems that the two layers were pretty much flat lined and mostly treated as one layer. You can see that all the panels were assembled with a top stitch here with the seam allowances facing towards the back. And then of course on the inside, you have the herringbone twill tape that was laid down, and this covers the seam allowances, and it also provides boning channels for the steel bones. And these reinforce the seams as well. And just like with the other corsets I had reviewed in the past, this particular corset does not have a waist tape. So to determine where the actual waistline is in this corset, it is the line just above where the hip gores begin. It's also the most narrow part of the corset if you were to measure across. And in this particular corset, the bunny ears are situated at the true waistline here. And you can see that there's some pretty white floral lace about 2 inches wide along the top and the bottom of the corset. It's ruffled a little bit, and this is in white, but I believe you can get black lace instead if you wish. And there's also some really delicate looking skinny satin bows on the top and the bottom in the front as well. And underneath here, you can see that there is a matching peach binding here made from a kind of skinny grosgrain ribbon, and this has been stitched down, machine stitched on both the front and the back. And because it is a ribbon and it's already finished on the edge here, it doesn't need to be folded under. It can just be, you know, sewn down in a single pass here, and the edge can be left pretty much raw. And where you see the second row of stitching here that's not quite at the bottom, that's where they had attached the lace here. And this is what it looks like on the bottom. So you can see you have the binding underneath in the ribbon, the matching peach ribbon, and the lace on top and the little delicate bows here, and it follows along the scallops. And this corset has 6 garter straps, 6 suspenders, 3 on each side, and they are quite wide, or a little bit over 1 inch wide, elastic. They have good quality metal hardware here, and they are adjustable. If you just grab that, you know, it can be shortened and lengthened just like any other strap here. There's also no Modesty panel in the back of this corset, and no Modesty placket in the front by the Busk. The busk in this corset is 13 inches long. It's a wide, heavy-duty stainless steel busk, so it's 1 inch wide on each side, and it has 6 loops and pins. The last 2 are a little bit closer together to help control the tummy. And you'll see that the busk doesn't go all the way down to the very bottom of the corset, as well as many of the bones stop a little bit further up. This helps you to be able to sit down. So if the corset is a little bit long on you, and I believe that it's designed to be because of the way that the suspenders are attached to it, it still allows you to sit down. This part just kind of flips up a little bit. And it may be a little bit easier to see the bones from the inside here. So there are 14 bones in this corset, 7 on each side, not including the center front busk here. It's single boned on the seams here with 1/4 inch wide spirals. And you can see here, if I test it with my magnet, they all are attracted to my magnet. And then on the center back here, there are 2 1/4 inch wide flat steel bones, and these attract my magnet as well. And there are a lot of eyelets in the back of this corset. So there are a total of 42 2-part size, I believe X00 eyelets in here, finished in silver. So the X00 is smaller than standard. I believe it's about 4 millimeters internal diameter of the hole here. And so this is very reminiscent of like the antique corsets, because they never had huge grommets with like really large flange around them or anything. These look very delicate, and there's a lot of them, which helps to control when you're lacing up here. And on the underside, you can see that there are washes present. All of them have rolled nicely. I don't see any splits. They don't catch on the laces here. They are placed about 3/4 of an inch apart, which I said, because they're so close together, they offer good control while lacing up. And the laces at the back here are 1/8 inch wide, white flat shoelace style lacing. It's your basic workhorse laces. These are a polyester cotton blend, and they have no stretch whatsoever, plenty of strength, very difficult to snap or break, and they are just wide enough to fit through the really tiny eyelets quite easily. They are definitely long enough for my purposes. They are very, very long. The C140 Overbust by Axfords Corsets is listed at 160 British pounds sterling, which converts to around 215 US dollars. Each one of these is made to order individually, so you can choose the color of the satin you want and the color of the lace as well as the size that you need. If you have any special requests regarding, say, having one made with the lace trim or providing your own fashion fabric, you can get in touch with Axfords personally. And this concludes my review of the C140 Overbust by Axfords Corsets. I hope you enjoy this and you learned something new. If you did, please remember to click that like button down there as it helps support this channel. If you have any comments or questions about this corset or Axfords corsets in general, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'd be happy to get back to you. If you have this corset or another corset by Axfords, especially a much older one from decades ago, I'd love to hear your opinion on it, so feel free to leave a comment down below and let us know about that as well. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week for another video. Bye!